arcanist, gaming, and music.
The pillars of Nosgoth, pristine, whole, and uncorrupted. I had never beheld them in this undefiled state, yet something profound and indelible resonated within me at the sight. And there, waiting at the very heart of the pillars, was the canker that was destined to destroy them.
I know you're there, Raziel.
Mobius led me to you, Cain, though I might have guessed you'd meet me here.
And if Mobius told you I was hidden on the underside of hell, would you throw yourself into oblivion to pursue me? Mobius trawls for the ignorant and unwary, hauling his gasping prey from the streams of their destinies. Stay out of his net, Raziel.
Spare me your elaborate metaphors, Cain. I have pursued you here for one purpose. You will pay for your betrayal, and balance will thus be restored to Nosgoth.
And whose will is satisfied then? The will of Raziel or Mobius?
Would I be better manipulated by you, Cain? Now, turn and face me. The chase is over.
This isn't a chase, Raziel. We are merely passengers on the wheel of destiny, describing a perfect circle to this point. We've been brought here for a reason. I've seen the beginning and the end of our story, however, and the tale is crude and ill-conceived. We must rewrite the ending of it. You and I.
Face me, Cain. Even you shouldn't die a coward's death.
Isn't it customary to grant the condemned a final request?
I recall no such courtesy from you.
Indulge me, Raziel. All I ask is that you listen. This is the sublime moment of our undoing, Raziel. The ineffable fulcrum upon which swings the entirety of our history. This is where all of Nosgoth is betrayed. In this instant, Ariel, the Balance Guardian, is murdered by dark forces bent on overthrowing the pillars. Her spirit is just now tearing free, lost in the ether, trying to find its way here. You have already seen how she comes to haunt these pillars.
Bound here by your refusal to die. You are the reason this land becomes diseased. As long as you remain alive, you condemn Nosgoth to an eternity of decay.
Be still, Raziel. See this. As Ariel dies, I am being born to take her place as Balance Guardian. Such is my destiny.
My God.
At the moment of my first cry, Ariel's beloved, the Guardian Nutraptor, finds her corpse. Racked with grief and tormented by suspicions of treachery, Nutraptor plunges into a madness which overflows and infects all of the Guardians who are symbiotically bound, including me. The repercussions of Ariel's assassination were expertly calculated. The entire circle descends into madness, and I am tainted at the moment of my birth, instantly rendered incapable of fulfilling the role destiny has prepared for me.
Shall I show you the same mercy you showed the rest of the circle, then? You blithely murdered them to restore their pillars, yet your hand faltered when it came to the final sacrifice. What makes you exempt, Cain? You're merely the last man standing. Why condemn me for simply carrying out what you hadn't the courage to do yourself?
Let's drop the moral posturing, shall we? We both know there's no altruism in this pursuit. Your reckless indignation led you here. I counted on it. There's no shame in it, Raziel. Revenge is motivation enough. At least it's honest. Hate me, but do it honestly. 30 years hence, I am presented with a dilemma. Let's call it a two-sided coin. If the coin falls one way, I sacrifice myself and thus restore the pillars. As the last surviving vampire in Nosgoth, this would mean the annihilation of our species. Mobius made sure of that. If the coin lands on the reverse, I refuse the sacrifice and thus doom the pillars to an eternity of collapse. Either way, the game is rigged.
We agree then that the pillars are crucial and must be restored.
Yes, Raziel. And that's why we've come full circle to this place.
So after all this, you make my case for me. To end this stalemate, you must die so that new Guardians can be born.
Pillars don't belong to them, Raziel. They belong to us.
Your arrogance is boundless, Cain.
There's a third option. A monumental secret, hidden in your very presence here. But it's a secret you have to discover for yourself. Unearth your destiny, Raziel. It's all laid out for you here.
There are only two sides to your coin.
Apparently so. But suppose you throw a coin enough times. Suppose one day it lands on its edge.
Alright. After that riveting performance by Simon Templeman,
I didn't know what impulse stayed my hand.
back to Arkansas
Why I had so
Music.
willingly
I'm your
allowed
old sister
Cain to
Jira,
escape
still
me
running
when I
day
had
28
pursued him for so
quarantine.
long. I had no reason to trust Cain after he
Still
had
lots
valued
of
me so
dialogue.
little.
That was
And yet,
7 minutes.
I found myself intrigued by his words. I had been too cruelly used to so gullibly play his pawn. But if this world truly had secrets to divulge, I was determined to expose them.
She's pretty unhappy. Not sure why. But consider trying to ignore it and shit. This is supposed to be working on the presentation of my niece. Maybe people wouldn't find me intimidating from this video. Intimidating. Turn that down. It's probably a little bit. Honestly, the last cutscene is probably my favorite monologue of the entire series. It's pretty good. Don't know enough about Templeman's career to say
From the
it's
moment
his
of
best
my arrival,
performance, but it's
I had
the
the
best I've
constant
seen.
and palpable sensation of
Current,
being
I
watched.
suppose.
Someone, it seemed, was keenly interested in my presence here.
Oh god, the swamp. I don't want of the swamp. I hate the swamp. Well, the swamp is after. Is the swamp after? Yeah, the swamp
From the look of it, this door had been sealed for centuries. I began to realize it was no mere coincidence that I found myself standing here, beneath this winged figure with blue skin and cloven hands so like my own, and bearing this unique key. And so it was with a sense of gravity and trepidation that I unsealed that ancient door
I don't
and
know.
crossed the threshold.
I'm not going to look it up. I don't have a guide for it right now. Kind of on my own. The buttons are slightly beveled. Ever so slightly. Almost unnoticeably. Can't eat you. Go fuck me here. The great thing about the 7-minute monologue in the opening of the episode is that I curse as much as I want after the fact because it's the first few minutes and we're not monetized anyway. Though I am supposed to be working on that also. Voice, less masculine, less swearing. Yeah, that's the general vibe, and more cutscene. The save point. Save points are good.
As I entered the chamber, I sensed that it had been sealed for hundreds, perhaps thousands of years. And while this room was clearly built when the pillars were erected, I knew that no human hand could have shaped this place, and that perhaps it had never been seen by human eyes. The surrounding murals depicted a winged race, their features so like my own, but beautiful, where mine were grotesque, and angelic, while mine were demonic. I tried to decipher these images.
For demons
A
or
great
angels
war,
in Nosgoth,
but with combatants
which
like none I had ever
is open
seen.
for debate.
The pillars, raised by this winged race, who thus defeated their adversaries. The winged beings again, writhing in agony, apparently afflicted with the same bloodthirst I had so recently suffered. And throughout the chamber, inscribed everywhere, images of the Reaver itself. Was this what Cain had urged me to discover?
The symbol of elemental spirit in the center of the
Lies, Raziel.
which you would not know until the end of Defiance if I did not tell you, but that is what that is. Rest in peace, Tony J.
Do not be deceived.
Ah, my ancient benefactor. And I dared to hope we had parted ways forever. Your silence
Better
was
than
refreshing.
listening to Mobius.
It lasted. No doubt you have a conveniently inexpressible reason for your presence here.
Do not be insolent, Raziel. I am eternally present
It's
here
mad.
and everywhere, now and
Dies
always.
now.
I am the still center of the turning wheel, the
If he
hub
doesn't
of
get,
this
like,
world's
kill you
destiny.
mad, it's disappointing.
But perhaps not so omnipotent as you'd have me believe. Your hold on me appears to be tenuous.
know what all the
I no
rumors
longer
mean.
seem to need you. Yet I'm guessing
Probably
you
nothing.
still need me.
Come on, lore, guys.
This impudence is unworthy of you, Raziel. Do not forget that you have a task to fulfill here. You are indebted to me.
Indebted. You would have me show gratitude for a gift I didn't ask to be bestowed. Do you forget that you forced me to inhabit this vile carcass?
I restored you to yourself, Raziel. It was Cain who destroyed you. The very enemy you've just let slip through your grasp. Do not fail me, my servant.
Sushi out of Cthulhu.
I serve no one. Not you, not Cain,
tasty.
and not your lackey Mobius.
Mobius is my
And
good
not,
servant.
doesn't matter which one you are.
I have
will eat you.
many.
And if I tell Mobius that he's worshipping a giant squid, do you think his faith will falter?
You have grown willful, Raziel. But beware. To embrace a serpent is to invite poison into your heart.
But Mobius, he
Cain is a sinuous beast. He will seduce and
snakes.
deceive you. You pride yourself on your free will, yet you let that degenerate deter your resolve.
I harbor no illusions about his integrity, nor anyone else's. In fact, I am beset by manipulation on all sides. I merely seek the truth.
These are the fathomless truths, Raziel. The agony of birth and death and rebirth. This is the wheel of fate, the purifying cycle which sustains all life.
Analog take this?
Vampires are an abomination, a plague which leeches this land of its spiritual strength. They obstruct the flow of life and death.
And this is still.
Their souls stagnate in their wretched corpses. But the wheel must turn.
Yes.
Death is inexorable and
Please,
cannot
well,
be
Chris-
denied.
Yes. We know.
Your destiny is irresistible, Raziel. You are my soul reaver, the scourge of the vampires, reaper of their apostate souls. Remain steadfast, end the vampire's parasitic curse, and restore Nosgoth. Cain's blood belongs on your hands.
Cain indeed
my veins,
deserves to
kinda.
die. for
Kids with the
condemning me to
souls,
this
whichever way
repugnant
you want to
form.
look at
But
that.
if and when I kill him, it will be for me alone to decide.
Cain destroyed you without a flicker of remorse. He tore the soul from your noble corpse. And after you had served him faithfully for 1,000
No.
years, he discarded
Soul
you in
gone.
the abyss on a jealous
Soul was
whim.
gone for a while.
Remember your rage, Raziel.
We were
Let
dead
it
for at least a
guide your
couple
hand.
centuries. Human souls don't tend to last so long, you spectral buddy. You should know this. You're allegedly God. Oh, yeah. Let's go fuck with the others. Because content. Well, yeah. We'll fight. No? No one doesn't do it?
Destroy Cain.
No. I'd like to destroy you. Say more things. Not gonna do it this time? Well, admittedly, this is draining my health. Probably not. Let's view the temples. I can't see very well. This is quite standard in the water in this game.
Do not fail me.
Lucky. I have a show to do. Dude, look at not doing that. God damn. Gonna get used to analog sensitivity again. That's right. We're going down pretty sure. Yes, we are. There we go. Shh. Merry Christmas. Nice little swim. Fish. Aha. Where is it? Okay. Sea is nice.
I surfaced into a very different landscape. The daylight barely penetrated the dense canopy of this forest. Here I discovered an ancient ruin, unmistakably one of Mobius's time-streaming chambers, but long ago sealed and abandoned to the encroaching swamp. I didn't currently possess the means to break this seal, but I thought in time that I might.
Supernatural strength. You don't, supernatural strength? Yes, I would work. This is breaking the dog. Bit like. Man. I'm dying. That's good. Admittedly, I might call it commentary for the early parts of this. Yeah, we can kick this down, but we can't break crack wooden door. Yep.
So,
Ears and the
my
same
lurking
smoke as the
observer
birds.
was
Vor
exposed.
birds.
The creature vanished when he realized he was discovered, but I caught a glimpse of him, and his features were distinctive enough. This was the vampire Vorador, the monstrous assassin depicted in the stronghold. Strange that a creature brazen enough to assault the circle single-handedly would avoid confronting me. Very well. If Vorador would not come to me, I would go to him. But first, I needed to find some means of reaching that terrace.
I don't know about your prison. Anxiety just sucks. That's a different thing entirely. There's not maybe fuck you to the doctors. The thing high blood pressure is my anxiety. The symptoms function completely exclusively from one another. Basically heading to the Daggeira Forge. I'm like so tripping. Having my parents really my was just hurt for some months. I suppose it could be a deficiency of some sort. Let's see. It's good doggy. Glorious.
There appeared to be a passage here, leading northward into the mountains. The opening, however, was obstructed and too high for me to reach. Perhaps later I would find the means to bypass these obstacles.
Lighty. Places to be, orders to do, 20 minutes left on the clock. these little skull-lights places, and I want to start exploding blood over it. But while I'm
My
to take up
lurking
voice
friend
acting,
was
I don't
nowhere
think
to be
that
seen.
quoting
But I found these ruins even
the
more
beggar
intriguing. I
blood over
recognized these
was
arcane
suited to
symbols
my
from the
voice.
chamber beneath the pillars, and realized that this shrine, too, was sealed to all but the bearer of the Reaver.
So us! And Dark Forge, which is actually kind of pretty. I like a lot of the architecture in these games. The world is quite beautiful. Even when decrepit. Damaged. Like some people. Statues, artwork, I suppose. This is a weird train of thought. Can we just die, please? Let me sword back. Can I have a sword back, please? I would like my sword back. Yeah. Ugh. And now for 10 minutes of flying the goddamn hole. Leaving somewhere down. I guess it has taken Puzzles. Yes. One shiny thing. Sparkles. It's important. There's no belief we can actually get up there as of now. Not yet. There's a phone there. Can't use that yet. Easy up. Easy up. There. Of course. More
Throughout
talking.
this ancient shrine, murals depicted the winged race, the apocalyptic war against their mysterious and equally inhuman adversaries. These winged beings, it seemed, were not only the architects of the pillars, but of this enigmatic place as well. And just as in the pillars' chamber, this shrine was adorned throughout with imagery of the Reaver, depicted with the reverence of a holy icon.
I'm gonna try to get through this in the last 16 minutes. Don't know if that's gonna happen. Really want that crystal. It's very pretty. Make me shot glasses out of it, please. Okay, so we're gonna spin a thing. Open paths, do puzzles in the paths. And yeah. Let's try if we can unlock a second place. Or the one-way Reaver door. We do want that. Luckily, I think I still remember how to do all my forges. I do know I'm going to struggle the light forge, as one always does. Portal? It has physical plants. No. Okay. Big wrong. Here. What's climbing on? That makes sense. Let me guess. Mages. Sure are. Add skills, yeah. I'm contemplating going through this game without a weapon. Actually, I'm playing Blood Omen 2 on the side of it. Higher mobility. But my sword is always good too. I'm not going to annoy everybody with my excessive use of the axe this time, which I do almost every other time because I love the axe. It's too slow, I'm not as good with it. No, it's my favorite weapon. Okay. Gotta mess with this thing. So back. Yay. Now, grab this. Anyway, as to why we're recording a Song's Ender today, well, for part of today, at least, is because he's working from home, and it is significantly earlier than I generally end up recording. And if I want to consider getting into voice acting, I should probably figure out how to speak, and if you want to sound like a guy, sound like a pleasant guy, instead of one who's gonna fuck your day up if you say the wrong thing. I've slowly begun to learn why people find me intimidating, though it took me years to remotely figure it out. Because I'm not scary. Did I forget something? I'll say no. Just gonna carry on. Okay. back in here. Makes sense. Turn this in twice. To the other side. Oh, you think it's gonna be fun, huh? Nope. Plain shift gate. Literally right there. I like to mess with you for depths in these games. Maybe that's a bit loud. My comes in. You don't want it to come to your mind. That's pretty. Ooh, the tips of it are like pink. That is very pretty. This room. Move to the up and do some jumps and do some plane shifting and do some more jumps. Wait, I have this correct. Actually, remember how to do the dark forge. I might hear this in time. Jeez, this is going to run a lot shorter than all of our other sessions recording it. And I'm sure this isn't... Oh, yeah, right. It was boring when made me re-record it the first time. And remember the second time. Probably the same thing. I'm kind of a perfectionist. We're doing this. Oh my god. Okay, that worked. I'm not entirely sure how that worked, but I'll take it. I know you do that thing where I jump and you don't glide. Don't do that. Thank you. So far, this has been a very peaceful walk through the forge. Nothing too eventful. Roaming along, killing the things, eating the souls, puzzles, looking at murals. I'm pretty sure that this game is not supposed to be perceived as this chill. But it's chill. I hang out with forgers all the time. Try to stop me from smoking with them. There you go. Uh-huh. Yes. I remember. I'm sorry. What do you think I'm doing? Thank you for finally doing your one job. So very close to completely stable games. Versus lag. And off we go. Get the shiny thing to put in the other place. And then we get Dark Sword. At 4:44 left on the clock. Ish. Not bad. Yeah, making good time. Not talking a lot. Not being super entertaining, but good time. This peaceful little stroll through Soul Reaver. That's what I need. I need a Bob Ross voice. This is some happy little forges. Doesn't matter what order you do the puzzles in. Just do the puzzles the way you want to do the puzzles. Oh, I need to watch more Bob Ross. Okay. Ah yes, the infamous problems with items and the 1 pixel hit block to place them or pick them up. I'm looking at you, Lightforge. Light absorbing crystals. My god, do I want those! Fucking A did a thing.
As I neared the altar, I suddenly felt the Reaver quickening of its own volition. Just as in William's chapel, the balance of power tangibly shifted. Voracious and willful, the Soul Reaver was now in control, and I, merely its helpless puppet. The Reaver plunged itself into that mysterious altar, and devouring the energy that emanated from within, drained this place of its power. Thus sated, the Reaver released me, and I realized as I recovered control that these ancient shrines were forges, each purpose built to enhance the Reaver with elemental power.
That seems like as good a time as any damn episode, so peace out, and we will see you next time.